Okay, welcome to the next installment. What we're going to do now is look up what is a lookup function. An example of a lookup function, for example, VLOOKUP displays a cell value found within a specific lookup range or table, and on finding a match, then it'll output the specific table. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a couple of different VLOOKUPs here, and we're going to show you how it works. So the first one I'm going to look at is haul cost. What we're trying to do is look in this table and to see the amount of head count that we have. Whatever the head count, we need to be able to turn out the cost. So at the moment for 1222, the haul cost should be in this area over 151, so it should be $700. But if the head count was less than that, we need to be able to work out how much it is, so whether it be 450 or 300. So let's see how we can create this into a dynamic field. Let's start off by going equals, and the VLOOKUP area is a good one, and that's the way I'm going to go. I'm going to click on this insert function area and click on VLOOKUP and then click on OK. So we've got a lookup value here, and the lookup value we're going to use is the head count value. So we're going to try and find 1222. The table array we're going to use is this particular table, so it's looking for 1222 in this left-hand column. And sorry, I'll just change this, sorry. The lookup value needs to be here. The table array needs to be this table here. The column index number is interesting. This is the first column of the table. This is the second column of the table. This is the third column. And that's the one we want to output. So we put that in as number 3. And that'll bring out $700. So that's pretty good. The range lookup, if we want to find an exact match, okay, we can put in false. But at the moment, the number of people could be between 0 and 50. It could be between 51 and 150. It could be over 151. We don't have an exact match here. In fact, exact matches really should be only used, or should be mainly used, when you've got a text value. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in true here, and then the value that will be returned is $700. VLOOKUP I23, so it looks up this value in this table, and when it finds it, so it's greater than 50, so it goes up. It's greater than 150, so it goes up, and then it outputs this 700 because it's over 151. And we can highlight that value. We'll do another example. We'll do an example for the adults and kids food prices for the adults. So let's just go into the adults. What we're wanting to do is to work out how many adults we've got. So equals how many adults? 1111. And then we're going to times that by the amount of food that they eat. So depending on the quality, obviously it all depends on the quality, so we're going to do a VLOOKUP. So we're going to add this in a VLOOKUP, and we're going to have a lookup value of whatever the quality is in the table array, this table array, and we're going to look up the adult food. So that'll be column number 2, and the range lookup, well, we've only got 1, 2, and 3 here, and 1, 2, and 3 is the main options here. So we can have an exact match, and so we can type in false for this value, and we get $15. So that's 15 times 1111 will give us the amount that we're looking for here, 16 grand. We do the same thing in the next area, same thing for the kids. So we, instead of having this 1082, we use a formula. So we're going the amount of kids, 111, times by, use the VLOOKUP again, and we're looking up a value, this value again, quality 1, within the table array. This is the table array. We're looking up for the third column this time, so not the adults, not the quality, but the kids. And again, we can look up with a false value because we have an exact match, 1, 2, and 3. And that's 1082.25, which is the same value that we had before. And so now all of the values that we have here are now updated, and they're dynamic. That means that whenever we change any of the values here, we'll get a different value. So if we change the number of adults to 111, for example, that changes the amount of food that we've got here. And it also may change the amount of sake if we change it to, say, 11 kids. We don't get our free sake. The cost per adult changes. Our head count changes, and that also updates. Now it's 122 between 51 and 150. So as you can see, by changing these formulas, we can change the overall value. And that's the end of this presentation.